1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. This is our weekly program featuring everything that is coming up in the area's music, arts, and entertainment scene. We will interview local artists, authors, musicians, and even some nationally recognized names who may be performing here in our area. We will have movie reviews and film suggestions from the real dad, Mark Schumann, and etiquette tips from Catherine Michaels. This is your all-access pass, and here are your hosts, Arts and Leisure editor Sally Sanders and our entertainment reporter Steve Coulter.
Welcome to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. I'm your host Steve Coulter. I'm joined here on the couch with our real dad Mark Schumann and my co-host Sally Sanders. We're going to have Ken Scalia, Weston artist, coming on later in the show. But to start off with, we're going to talk about movie dads. It's Father's Day on Sunday.
Yes.
It's a great weekend to sit down with Pops and enjoy some of your favorite movies together.
Well, it's a good chance to tell your dad just how great he is and how thankful you are that he's given you everything in life, and just do that many, many times, because we tend to forget.
And we do tend to forget how great our parents really are.
But it's a good time to check out some of the films that have gone, I think, beyond the call of duty to help us see the complexities of dads.
Do you have ingredients for what makes an iconic
I knew you were going to ask me for ingredients. So I do think that the best, or my favorite movie fathers, have a great dosage of love. And I think love is the central narrative thing that connects many of the fathers that are my favorites. I think there is always a strong sense of legacy. And how a parent wants not only to be remembered by a child, but also how the family will be remembered by those it has been in contact with. And then I think there's always a sense of longing, like wishing that...
I'm glad you got them all in the L category.
I just for you. But wishing that we could be something we're not. Wishing that the family could be healthier, wishing many things.
It's like that scene with Marlon Brando in The Godfather. Yeah. He wants Michael to be the governor, the politician, the police officer.
When we think about great dads in movies, that's right at the top. Right at the top of the list. The scene in the garden where he's expressing, and he knows he's in the later moments of his life.
That's his last scene before he dies.
He expresses, perhaps for the first time between these people, what he really hoped his son would be. And it's so touching, and it's so real, and it's something that any of us as parents, we've had those moments where we have in our minds the picture we think that our children can create, and we hope they have the chance to do that. But for a movie that is best remembered perhaps for its more violent moments, it's the softer moments like that truly make that movie
I pulled a
work.
line out from that today. A man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. He's telling that to Sonny.
To Sonny. Of course, after Sonny was not spending time
I
with
was going to say, he was being very...
But it's the whole film in a nutshell in that line.
And just if you think about the wedding sequence in The Godfather and how they're getting ready to take the family picture, and he realizes that Michael isn't there yet, and obviously Michael was his favorite. And when he is in the hospital and Michael comes to him, and you see that little tear go down his face. That's magic. It's pure magic.
It's a great film.
Pure magic.
Is there something that makes some actors like a Marlon Brando or a Gregory Peck more iconic than other actors in the father role? Because we were kind of talking before the show, an actor that we both really love, Tommy Lee Jones, doesn't have that iconic screen role where he's the father.
Well, it's warmth for one thing.
I think
But
Gregory
I'd much
Peck's
rather have
warmth.
Gregory Peck as my father
Or Jimmy Stewart.
than Marlon Brando. And Jimmy Stewart, no, he's got too much of a temper. You can just see.
But he's so good, and It's a Wonderful Life.
I think of Spencer Tracy, and Spencer Tracy had a couple of films that to me are iconic father roles. Certainly the original, not the remake, Father of the Bride from 1950, and he's
you don't
really
like the remake?
Funny. No. But the one that really locks for me is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner from 1967, and in that he plays a father who truly is torn. He obviously loves his daughter. He longs for her to have a very happy life, but he's caught up in the decisions his daughter's made. In this case, 1967, her decision to marry a black man. And I think even though you look at that movie now and the cars are out of date and the clothing's out of date, what Spencer Tracy expresses as a father's hope for a child's happiness is timeless. And the last speech he gives, which is the last speech Spencer Tracy gave in his career, is so moving because it captures what fatherhood is about.
There's like a timing, I feel like, with these speeches, that these moments in film history.
Yeah,
and Marlon Brando's, the Spencer Tracy's, it's like they're there for a certain reason at a certain time to deliver.
And in the Spencer Tracy case, he was so ill, he died within weeks after the film was finished. And they all knew this was his legacy, not only for his career, but also for the character in the film. So I think Spencer Tracy, because he had a warmth, but he also had an underlying complexity that makes him interesting.
And a strength. And
Real strength.
Real strength, but also the ability to just be very ordinary. I mean, in Father of the Bride, he's just like the everyman father of the bride who's just struggling to figure it out, what it is these women want, and supply it.
If Spencer Tracy's on the Mount Rushmore of actors who are the best film dads, who else fills out that foursome?
Well, clearly Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck is,
I would vote for Jimmy Stewart. But then I think Robin Williams, and I think what he does in Mrs. Doubtfire.
One of my key ingredients was sacrifice, and that
sacrifice
is all right.
And a little bit of saccharine.
Yeah.
But Robin Williams, a lot of love there. He wants to be with his kids, and he is married to kind of this meanish Sally Field. So the only way he can do it is to create this disguise.
You could also,
which is great fun.
You could also throw in Dustin Hoffman.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Kramer versus Kramer, because that's it's early on in the feminist movement, and it's a man discovering what it is to be a parent.
Right.
Not just going out the door in the morning, coming back when the kids are all clean and ready to tuck into bed, but really dealing with the mess of life.
The hour-to-hour fatherhood.
Real fatherhood, which now
not the
is,
kind that like Ethan Hawke gets to just kind of hop in boyhood.
Yeah,
he's just there
he's
for
cool.
a scene.
He's cool, but
he's the cool dad. He's the coolest dad, arguably.
In Kramer, what I love are the bookend scenes of them fixing breakfast. And you have the first morning after Meryl Streep has left, and it's disorganized, and he burns the toast, and he doesn't know where anything is, and he just can't handle it. And by the end of the film, they just have it down to this routine, and they know each other so well.
Right.
And you do feel that he has grown immeasurably because of this challenge he faced. I think that's right there. There's another one from that same time period, and it's Ordinary People.
Oh, I had it on the tip of my tongue. I was going to say Donald Sutherland.
And
he also went there too.
What I love about that character is that he's deeply flawed. He's also not the center of the movie. The center of the movie is really Timothy Hutton and his
Connie
trying to heal after this family tragedy, made difficult because of this cold mother, beautifully played by Mary Tyler Moore. But Donald Sutherland is such a presence. And that final exchange between Donald Sutherland and Timothy Hutton, when Donald Sutherland dares to reveal that he's not perfect and he cannot take the pressure of being expected to be perfect. And I think that's a big issue with parents and with fathers in movies, is that
sons
they
looking
are
up to
so
them
portrayed
too,
to be perfect.
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland says, don't believe what you see, that there's a lot more to it. And I think that's a fabulous portrayal.
Well, and then we go to a film, we were talking about this before, Boys in the Hood.
Oh, Boys in the Hood is like what Atticus Finch was in the 60s. Furious Styles is to the 90s.
But he's perfect.
He's so great.
Perfect.
That's
like
Lawrence Fishburne
Atticus,
too, for those who haven't seen it. One of the best performances ever.
Yeah.
And one of the best actors.
What a great name too, Furious Styles.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I go back, it was fun to go back to these movies that people may have forgotten. There's a movie from the 60s called HUD.
Oh, I had that
Oh,
on the
yes.
list.
HUD.
Yes.
I had the kind of as a bad
Douglas.
dad kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
Melvin Douglas is just, but he's so determined to hold everything together.
Paul Newman's what? He's like alcoholic, right, or drug addict? Yeah.
And there's a tragedy, and
Right.
but
Kills
it's
the brother,
such
is
a-
that?
Such a
It's been a while.
It's such a chilling portrayal. I think it is really good.
One that I came up
Paul
with.
Newman's in a lot of them too. He's come back to that
Well, then
Father-
you skip ahead to the
road to perdition. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Tom Hanks as one of my good dads, but in the same sense, Paul Newman's a bad dad because he lets Daniel Craig go all crazy and then Craig kills Hanks's family, and it's.
I do think you probably have to consider Tom Hanks on that Mount Rushmore when you
Oh,
think
he's
of
so good.
Sleepless in Seattle.
That's
and
true.
You think of
Yeah.
Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition is one of the first movies I ever remember seeing in theaters. I was like,
and it
13.
was
It was
ambitious in its darkness.
oh, it's very
Yeah.
good. It's Sam Mendes. That's
Oh,
I highly recommend that one.
And he loves, again, he loves his child. He wants the legacy to be something the child can be
Right.
proud of.
That is a big legacy
but
movie.
Destiny is not going to permit that. This is not going to have a happy ending. And you sit there and you know
Jude Law's coming for him.
that it's not going to work out in the end.
Great cast that movie has.
Oh, that-
Daniel Craig, Jude Law, Tom Hanks, Paul Newman.
Paul Newman
great.
is so,
I'm gonna watch that movie this weekend.
yeah, that's really one that is, it is great. And thinking of Paul Newman makes me think of Cat on the Hot Tin Roof.
Oh, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Burl Ives.
Nobody better than he was at that role.
And he uses,
I think we're convincing ourselves that Paul Newman might be on this.
Well, I
Mount
think we're-
Rushmore.
Yeah. Well,
But-
Paul Newman can be on so many different Mount Rushmores.
Right.
but Big Daddy is such a great character because he uses illness to manipulate, which is a theme that's also
Yeah.
used in the Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, I
That's
had that on my list as bad dads.
Yes,
I didn't know we were gonna get
definitely.
into that one.
Oh, Gene
there it
Hackman.
is.
Gene
One of
Hackman
my
is just
favorites.
so bad. He's so bad, and he's so
That's so good.
manipulative, and it's.
He has that touching moment at
perfect.
the end with Ben Stiller when Stiller's like, "It's been a hard year," and he's just like, "I know." That's a great moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And then he's got some really diabolical ones though in between.
So what are others that you thought?
I
of?
had J.K. Simmons
Mm.
in Juno.
Not in Whiplash.
Well, it's
Well,
a
he's
great
kind of the father figure,
contrast.
yeah.
He's really the father figure in Whiplash too.
Right.
I mean, he takes over the.
It shows
the-
his range as an
yeah.
actor. He's brilliant in
But
both.
in Juno, he's like, the dad that you'd really want if you were ever in trouble. He's
Right.
just
Well, he's just very
even cooler than
matter
Ethan
of
Hawke.
fact, yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact about it.
he's very Canadian. Actually, he did that quite well.
Is he Canadian really?
No.
Yeah.
No, but he.
You're from Michigan, so that's
Yeah.
that's close. That's close.
Yeah.
It's close to the border.
But Pete Postlethwaite.
oh, in the name of the father.
In the name of the father.
That is
I'm
such-
glad we mentioned In the Name of the Father.
Mm.
That was, I mean, talk about, going the whole way for your son.
Yeah. He's no longer with us. He passed away a couple
Yeah.
years
Yeah,
ago. He's a great
yeah.
actor.
I thought of George Clooney in The Descendants.
Yep.
Yes.
Because
It's interesting. Every actor who's like a big modern star, like Clooney, Brad Pitt, they've all done the father kind of role.
And that was really a tricky role because you have him, and this is what many parents go through. They're trying to manage their own grief. At the same time, they're trying to be what their kids need, and those two don't always work in sync.
Yeah.
Right.
Brad Pitt in The Tree of Life.
Tree of Life. Yeah, I know
he's-
that was one we wanted to get to.
And he reminds me. This one reminds you of this because then that reminds me of Robert Duvall in The Great Santini,
Yes.
who is just so mean.
I think he used that as kind of like a gateway to his performance. I remember reading when that movie came out.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, because
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
No.
there's definitely commonality between them.
There's a lot of it's similar between them, but they're so strong. And then I get soft and I think of Mr. Banks
Yep.
in Mary Poppins, and you think of that great sequence between Mr. Banks and Bert the chimney sweep about a man has dreams of walking with giants or whatever, and that's a great legacy moment. That has nothing to do with the movie, but it's a great.
It is a legacy moment. Before we head to our break, we should
Huh?
do one of our favorite good dads that we haven't touched on and our favorite bad dad, because there's a clear cut kind of line.
Favorite
Okay.
good dad.
Okay.
Martin Sheen.
Who wants one?
Oh, Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, the father. He was the father of Charlie Sheen in Wall Street.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, he did this little film that you can see on Netflix called The Way,
Oh, that's a good
with
one.
Oh, that
with
is.
Emilio
Yeah.
Estevez,
That's a
his
must watch
another
for
son.
people
Yeah.
that want to
Yeah.
do something
And
this week.
and on The West Wing, he was the best
He
father.
was but best. I would pick A River Runs Through It.
Yep, I saw that on
Tom
your list.
Skerritt.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I think that he's a father. Again, the movie's not about him, but he's about a father who feels helpless because he doesn't know what to do to save his child, and that has to be a difficult thing.
Yep. And there's Brad Pitt again coming up. He's the son in
Yeah.
that one. My favorite's Roberto Benigni
Oh.
in Life is Beautiful.
Yeah.
I had to get him out there because that was another one that I saw when I was a young kid. really impacted me. Talk about sacrificing for your kid. And another kind of element of all these roles is there's a little bit of a secret to being a good father. You're not showing him the full hand. You know, you're kind of playing something close to the chest, and he's definitely a little bit secretive to his son. He's not giving him the full, you know, this is what we're doing. He's kind of playing it as a joke almost.
Yeah.
It's a comedy drama in a sense.
I have to say that, and this is a little known movie, but it's actually going to be on television this weekend. I Never Sang for My Father, and it was 1970. It's Melvin Douglas again, and a young Gene Hackman before he became a superstar.
Before he came
and
loyal
it's
to
about a
him.
middle-aged man who's trying to provide the care his elderly father needs, and the tensions that exist between them because of issues never resolved. And
Sounds
it's
very
just
interesting.
as powerful a study of what the relationship between father and son can be. But we have not mentioned the most obvious one. We have not mentioned the daily double, which is, in unison, Field of Dreams.
I was saving that for the end.
Oh,
Don't worry, I had that one on
Okay.
because you know what it is? It's they're both fathers, and then the movie is just such a good Father's Day movie that it's in a class of its own. It's the best.
And my favorite, one of
Ray
my
and
favorite,
John Kinsella, when they have the catch at the end. It's even better than the Godfather scene.
I remember that I was on an airplane when Field of Dreams was playing on all the airplanes. This is many years ago, and I'm sitting there, and I can't watch that movie without crying.
I
I
get
can't.
goosebumps every time.
And this man sitting next to me was from Australia, and he said, "What is it about this movie?" He says, "I've been on 5 airplanes this week. They're all showing Field of Dreams. Every man next to me is crying. What is it about this movie?" And I said, "Well, surely you have an
so
Australian equivalent. I don't think it's
Don't
that."
call me Shirley.
But it's all about either our dads played too much catch with us or not enough catch with us, but there's just
We're
something
absent
about
at some point in our lives.
But it is the
Yeah.
universal fatherhood movie, and he said, "Okay, I'll try to understand it, but
It doesn't get any better than that
Doesn't get
last
it.
scene where is this heaven?
Translate it to rugby, yeah.
It's Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll head off to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll be talking with Ken Scalia of Weston. He's got a show in South Norwalk that's going to be running this month and into July. We'll be back after the break.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Chop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well. With the 24-month Bankwell Smart CD, you can earn 1.35% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher.
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. We're joined with Ken Scalia, artist from Weston. You draw a lot of old automobiles, or paint, I should say.
Yes, painting.
And the paintings are going to be on the Sidewalk Gallery in South Norwalk.
Yes.
It started June 5th to July 10th, is that right?
Yes, that's the run.
That's the one.
The Sidewalk Gallery in Sono is kind of unique in that the exhibit is on all the time. You can see it through the windows of the curved facade. And they light it at night. So it's always up and you can always see it. The only thing is it's different. You can't go inside. The wall for the exhibit exists about 3 feet behind the windows, but everything's there and it's always on view. So it's a unique experience for me, and in this area it's quite a different kind of gallery.
There's not like another gallery like that, I can imagine.
Yeah.
This is organized by Jennifer Hunter, who lives in South Salem.
Right, yeah.
And she's done, I think it's like 2 or 3 years now she's been doing these shows.
Yes, she and her husband Bill
Yeah.
have the Press Proof Studio, which is located just behind that wall, and which you don't know that. But yes, they've started looking for artists and promoting them. They even had the Brian McMahon High School art show was there just a week or two before mine went up. For me, it was interesting because usually I apply to galleries and exhibition sites. They were interested in me. It was very gratifying to have them come after me.
Wow.
So that was different, but they're very generous and very enthusiastic about the show.
They are.
Yes.
They are. She's
Great.
always excited about every show
Oh
she
yeah,
does.
great to work with.
And how did you get into painting old cars? What was kind of the motivation or inspiration behind doing that?
We
Well,
should say that you're not actually taking old cars and painting them. You're doing
not on them. Yes, doing paintings.
Yeah,
of
Yes.
paintings of like a mirror.
Yeah,
Right.
acrylic on canvas.
Okay.
So that's my medium. Well, Sally knows that since 2008,
Yeah.
one of the
We had
earliest coverages I had from Hersom Acorn was about an exhibit I was having at the Westport Arts Center. And so just a couple of years previous to that, I had started painting for myself. I had been painting for decorative painting in people's homes, as well as the graphic design I do, but I finally felt a need to do my own work. So I started copying masters, looking for subjects. And I discovered an old cache of slides, 35 millimeter slides. This is well before digital.
Yeah.
Projected those and found some interesting shapes.
Went to work, right?
Yeah. And I had taken those probably 10 years previous to when I found them. But something about the cars, which I've always loved, classic cars, all pre-1970. After 1970, they all get boxy and chrome starts to disappear. I can't imagine a Pinto being a classic car, but someday it will be.
Well,
but
you see
I'm not
them
painting
now
it.
with those early American plates on them, and you just go, what?
Yeah, so I was behind a late model
Yeah.
Volkswagen the other day. I was like, oh, come on, you know.
Yeah.
But I look for those elements of cars that are sculptural. Based on my training and design, I developed an eye for looking for composition.
The one that we
composing the
have up
space.
right now.
Yes.
A lot of round.
Yes, it's a series of squares, series of circles in
Yeah.
this case.
Yeah.
The mirror, the steering wheel,
The odometer.
the speedometer,
Yeah.
yes, and the gauges. This is from a 1958, I believe, Corvette.
Beautiful.
And I look for those areas of the car that are different than what you expect. I mean, I go to the car shows as many other people do, and they're swarming over the cars, just taking random pictures. I'm composing, whether it's the camera phone, or an actual camera. I'm composing in the frame already. And much like this one, this is Weston's 1935 Mack fire truck.
Wow.
It's restored, and I could not resist that great spotlight with all the chrome on that. This fire engine is perfectly restored, and they trot it out on big days in Weston. And,
Yeah.
but it's all polished. And clear sky, blue sky, just drew me to all those shapes that are there. But it's a non-standard view. Another bright sunny day for this one. An engine from a dragster. This is a local story. Sarah Edwards from Stanford was the 22-year-old driver of this drag racer. She's moved on up now to a 300 mile per hour rocket car.
Oh
Mercy.
This one went 180 miles an hour, and she's this slight, wonderful 20-something.
Now, do you go to racetracks? Are you
No,
interested in stock cars or no?
Well, no, I don't.
No.
What about
It's-
planes, trains? While we're on the subject of other automobiles.
No, not so much.
No?
Not so much.
some of
the
I prowl the classic car shows.
Yeah.
Greenwich, Concours, the Fairfield used to have one. Car shows in calf pasture.
There's one in Reading this weekend, actually.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
sure.
at Lone
So-
Town Farm. But you started out in graphic design? Or?
Yes, that's my training. I worked as a graphic designer, I still do. Worked in publication design. I worked for a local publisher in Westport for many years. Coffee table books, large format art books, newsletters, magazines.
So, but the fine art aspect of it, when did you pick that up?
Oh, I've painted since high school.
Since high school.
Yes,
So, I mean, but when you were in college and then at Yale, did you get your master's there?
Yes, I undergrad at Purdue in Indiana, and then master's at Yale in graphic design. But that was really just trying to understand how to be a good designer. Painting at that point wasn't really involved. I mean, I brought all my painting equipment with me over the different moves. You know, it's always come with me, but finally broke it out in about 2005, 2006, after, what is that, 15 years after grad school. So.
Now, this is a naive, non-artist question, but how do you know how to do it? Do you see it and you can just
Know that you can do it.
know that you can do it?
Well, I always challenge myself. I always try to, otherwise I look at so many pictures that I could paint and I say, no, it's not challenging enough. For
How
some
many pictures
reason.
are you working with in terms of like before you select one to actually paint?
Oh, hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's quite a process,
Right.
evaluating which one's the perfect one.
Right, and I crop it down on the screen. And it's a long process. So once I've decided to do a painting, I'm committed. So
You've reached the point of no return. at
Right,
some
right.
point.
I'm compelled to go ahead and do it. But how do I know how to do it? I just recreate what's there. I paint what I see. I work from a print, an 8x10 color print, and magnifying glasses now. I used to not have to use those, but now
Well-
magnifying glasses.
I mean, the Dutch painters were alleged to use, what was it, the pinhole camera, the camera obscura
Camera
too?
obscura, yes.
Yeah.
Optics, Hockney wrote a whole book on optics, how he believes that they have to have used optics to get all the detail in the clothing. You know, the embroidery and the
Yeah.
beading and all that. So,
Well, you're getting the reflections in the chrome, which is just amazing too.
oh, that was a big draw. Yeah. This one is actually one of several commissions I've done. So car owners will come to me and ask me to paint their cars.
This
That must be a pretty
this is
cool
my
gig.
baby, and
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
I want to hang it above the fireplace.
right, yeah, or in their garage or
Yeah.
wherever. But
their man cave.
yes, the man cave. And those are typically the whole car. My personal paintings are those close-up crops that
Right.
I'm investigating shape and tension on the edges and color generally.
Yeah, like this one.
How many pieces are at the Sidewalk Gallery?
Oh, I believe, well, including there's 12 small ones like these. These are only 12 by 9, these smaller pieces that were just up. 12 of those and probably maybe another 12 larger pieces. 24 by 36, 36 by 36 are some of the largest.
And you mentioned that the lights are on until midnight. Have you ever worked it or had your your stuff shown at a gallery that's open that late? I
No.
mean, you're talking about people that could be going out to dinner or even out to the bars that are looking at it.
Exactly.
Really late at night, which is pretty cool.
Exactly, and that's the sidewalk gallery down there, because the neighborhood is so active.
Yeah.
There's a chance that you're going to see it, and it's. I mean, not to say that other galleries don't have a piece in the front window, but this way you get to see the entire exhibit.
The whole collection,
yes, yeah, it's great.
It's awesome stuff. Well, Ken, thank you so much for coming on the couch and
You're welcome.
talking about it.
Thank you for having me. It's a
For more
pleasure.
information about your work, you can go to kenscaliastudios.com, and your last name has a G in it, so it's Scaglia.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
And for more stuff on the Sidewalk Gallery, facebook.com/Sidewalk Gallery, or you can email them at sidewalkgallery@pressproofstudio.com.
That's it.
That's right. All right. Ken, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. We'll be back
pleasure.
after a commercial break. We'll do some weekend highlights and then
Yeah, just a few for
right.
Dad.
real quick ones. We'll be back
Great.
after the
Thank
break.
you.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000. Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook. At the Language School in Ridgefield, we teach practical language for real life, tailored to your professional needs or those of your children. Offering more than a dozen languages, the school specializes in creating customized classes for businesses, government agencies, and healthcare professionals in Fairfield and Westchester counties. Native speakers from around the world will instruct students of all ages in the language and the culture using a hands-on method. Find out more about what makes us different at thelanguageschoolglobal.com or call us at 203-241-7010.
Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or Westport at 609 Riverside Avenue, the Dock Shop is where you'll find everything you need to kick off summer. From the latest summer apparel to the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. We're going to have a couple of weekend highlights to bring you before we set off into that weekend. Sally, I believe Hamlet is coming to town.
Hamlet is coming to Pinckney Park in Rowayton. Shakespeare on the Sound is back. This is their 21st season, and it opened last night. They do performances Tuesdays through Sundays, and this year they're doing something a little bit different.
Is it live action like that?
Well, they've been practicing their sword fighting, but now I think they've got that down.
I was going to say, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, in previous years, they've asked for donations each night, and they've said, you know, the performance is free. This year, Friday through Sunday evenings, they're actually going to require tickets, and you're going to have to pay for them. It's 20 for adults, 10 for seniors, seniors and students, which is still a good deal for a lovely evening.
It's a great deal. It's one of the best things you can do in the summertime.
Yeah.
Fairfield County.
So Pinckney Park is on the 5 Mile River at 177 Rowayton Avenue in Rowayton. And if you want more information about the performances and the timing, The production starts at 7:30 every night, but there are things going on beforehand. And people tend to get there very early to plant their blankets so they get a good
the
seating.
best view possible.
Yeah. It's ShakespeareOnTheSound.org, or you can call 203-299-1300.
And we were going off our conversation with Ken last segment. There's going to be a car show in Reading.
Yes.
The Reading Historical Society is going to present its collector and custom car show at Lone Town Farm this Saturday, June 18th, 9 to 4:30. The rain date for such is going to be Sunday, June 19th. That's Father's Day, from 10 to 5:30. Admission for exhibitor cars and trucks is $10 per vehicle, including the driver, the car, and one passenger. General admission is $8 per person, with children under the age of 7 will be admitted for free. There will be a People's Choice Awards program along with fun, food, drink, and surprises for all. For more information and vehicle registration forms, visit readinghistoricalsociety.org or email readinghistoricalsociety@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's a good thing to take Dad to.
Definitely. That sounds like
Yeah.
a great Father's Day weekend
Okay.
event.
Saturday night, if Dad likes show tunes.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
see where you're going now.
Yeah. Caramore is opening its summer music festival.
New York?
Yeah.
Great.
That's at 149 Girdle Ridge Road in
Yeah, we had them on the
Katona.
show last summer before we went to video.
But to open this year, they have Kelly O'Hara, who's just out of The King and I on Broadway, and she's going to be the star of A Starlit Evening, Saturday,
wow.
June 18th.
That should be a lot of fun.
It's also their gala, so there are expensive tickets for the gala, but you can also get concert
That
tickets.
includes like a meet and greet, I'm sure.
Pre-concert cocktail reception and dinner, and then premium seating and an after party are part of the gala. But the concert is also just available as the concert. Tickets are at caramore.org, or you can call 914-232-1252.
Staying in New York, there's a barbecue in Purchase, New York. The Westchester Philharmonic plans a Father's Day celebration with burgers, beers, and Brahms Sunday, June 19th at the Performing Arts Center at Purchase College in Purchase, New York. The event begins with a concert featuring pianist Alan Goldstein with the Piano Concerto No. 1. Also on the program are Manuel de Falla Ritual, Fire Dance, and Mozart Symphony No. 41, Jupiter. Immediately following the concert is a BBQ bash on the upper lobby patio with burgers and hot dogs, sides, and drinks, followed by dessert. Tickets are $30 to $97 for the concert, $19 for adults, $9 for kids, 12 and younger for the barbecue. For reservations and information, visit westchesterphil.org. And that concludes our weekend events. We thank Mark Schumann and Ken for joining us here on the couch, talking a little bit of painting, movies. As always, it's been a fun show. We'll be back next week with some more arts and leisure. Drive safe, everybody, and have a great
Happy Father's Day.
Exactly, to the fathers out there. Take care.
So.